You're listening to My Comic Life on the My Comic Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to My Comic Life, folks. We are so thrilled that you're here joining us for another great episode of My Comic Life. You know we're your number one podcast for all things geek, nerd, gaming, movies, TV, pop culture, comics. If you're into that, you found the podcast for you. Well, folks, joining me each week in the My Comic Life studio, he's the only guy I know who can do push-ups while Mjolnir is on his back. Alex, say hello to the folks there, Alex.
What's going on, folks out there? Now, to preface it, I was riding in an elevator, so if you don't know if you count it or not, you're going to have to, speak about Tony Stark about that one. But how are you guys doing? We missed you very much. A very happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there that listen to the show. We're recording this on, Sunday, June 20th. So, very happy Father's Day out there to you all. Sam, did you have a pretty good day?
I did, man. I did my Father's Day celebrating on Saturday. We all got together with my dad, and it was good. And took him out to eat, gave him cards, gave him gifts. Everything there. So got to wake up today and take it pretty easy. How about you? Did you have a good Father's Day there, Alex?
I did. My dad's a really big Star Wars buff, so I managed to secure him like all, first printings of that new series, what is it, the High Republic, I think, Star Wars High Republic.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that was not easy to do, but, I managed to get it done, put together a little gift basket with my brothers for him. We had a really good time, and for myself, my kids, they treated me really well. My girlfriend, she got me this bitchin' PS5 over here, so
I'm so jealous, man.
It's a pretty solid Father's Day, man. What can I say?
Coming over to your house soon.
Yeah, anytime, brother, anytime. Maybe you can come over and we can watch this this new season of this new show that they teased for us. Sam, why don't you take it into us?
All right, man. Starting off on the DC side of things, DC released its official trailer for Titans Season 3 this week. Titans, streaming on HBO Max, is labeled as a gritty take on the Teen Titans franchise as it follows young heroes from across the DC universe as they come of age and find where they belong. Alex, I gotta ask you right off the bat here, are you a fan of this show, and what did you think of the teaser?
Oh man, I have not seen a single minute of this show. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Like, I know all the time you're telling me, like, I gotta catch it, I gotta watch it, and I always tell you I'm gonna eventually check it out. But to me, it's just, I don't know if it's like just the style or the costumes or whatever, but something just always turns me off about these DC like shows. Like, I've never watched Arrow. I've only seen a few episodes of Flash. And I've never seen any of the whatever, the Superman and Lois or any of, or Gotham or any of this stuff, man. It's just like not what I don't know what it is, but it just turns me off, man. But now, as far as like, what did I think of the trailer? I thought this shit was tight, man. I really liked the, the thought of the Red Hood and, some of the images that we got to see. It wasn't a whole lot. It was more of a teaser rather than a trailer, but I'm one of these times, I don't know, maybe if I get fired and I'm on unemployment and I've got nothing to do all day, I'll just go ahead and finally check the show out. But I don't know, it's getting to that point now where I'm just way too far along to just get caught up. You know what I'm saying? What do you, now I know you are, I wouldn't necessarily say a fan, but at least you're familiar with the show, Sam. What do you think of this?
The trailer looks great. I'm very excited. The Red Hood outfit, like the brief teaser I got, I need to see more of it, but like the brief glimpse of it that I saw looked a little too homemade, Comic-Con cosplay for me. Like, I've seen better Red Hood outfits than this one before. Am I a fan of the show? Yes. Am I totally caught up on the show? No. In fact, I'm stuck in season 1 like you. Really, I've embraced the DC television universe more than you have. Watched Arrow, watched Flash, watch Oh my gosh, they're a time traveling show here, Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Um, but like you, I've kind of fallen behind right now because I'm in a race with two of my other friends to see who can finish Stargate SG-1 first. And I am falling so far behind on this race right now, and like I'm having to put like all of their TV shows on the back burner. Now that being said, I did watch this show up to the episode that introduced Doom Patrol in season 1, and it stumbles a little bit out of the gate, first part of season 1. But once all the Titans start coming together, and a little bit of a spoiler here, this is kind of a road trip show in season 1, like they're crisscrossing the country, kind of meeting each other and like teaming up. But I mean, like once they start getting together as the Titans, it becomes a really intriguing and good show, and definitely one that I'm going to go back and start up again.
Now I heard this show was quite violent. I think I heard that from you. Is that,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
still
I
stand
mean,
by that?
yeah. I mean, it's pretty violent. I mean, it kind of showcases like a lot of DC superheroes. In fact, some that have only had like minor appearances on screen, like Hawk and Dove, and like you get to see them like really like breaking bones and stuff like that. And I mean, like of course the infamous teaser trailer from season 1 where you still see Dick Grayson as Robin, and he's beating up all these guys, and he's got like a blood splattered face, and he's like, "Fuck Batman."
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not like Watchmen level of violence. Like it's just kind of like underneath that. I mean, like it's not like too brutal to watch or anything, but I mean, it's pretty realistic. Like comic books, you always see like the aftermath of like Batman's attacks. He jumps into the alleyway and he beats up all the guys and they're all knocked out. No, I mean, like this one like really shows like, hey, if somebody hits you with a metal baton at like the right, part of your arm and dislodges your shoulder out of socket, like that's gonna hurt, and you're gonna hear that popping noise or that cracking. So I mean, it's got that level of violence in it. Alex, got to ask you, did this teaser hype you up for the upcoming season? Like, is this going to get you to like sit down and watch the first 2 seasons before season 3 drops, or are you still going to back burner this show?
Oh man, it's a back burner for me. I mean, unless something like crazy starts to happen, and I guess I start hearing that it's awesome and it's really good, I may jump on that bandwagon, and you guys can go ahead and roast me for it all you want. But like I said, there's just so many of these shows that I have passed by without giving a second glance to, and I don't know. I'd watch Doom Patrol before I watch this, and I haven't even thought about watching that.
Wow.
To me, it's just like DC just cannot get the live actions, and that's not even with just DC. I mean, the whole when Marvel had their shows that were on main network, like your what is it? Actually, I did like Agent Carter, but like what was the other one? Agents of Shield.
Yeah, there was
You
Agents of
couldn't care
Shield,
for it.
and they had
What
an
was
X-Men spin-off show on Fox that I'm blanking on the name of, but yeah.
and then the Inhumans, like none of that stuff I could get into. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe because it's on a small screen that it really just like is difficult for me to kind of let go and just like be taken on a ride and be told a story. But that's just how it is for me, man. I mean, what about? I mean, you sounded like you were pretty hyped to see this this little teaser that they had for us. What did you have to think
Yeah,
about it?
no. I mean, what can I say? They cut the teasers very well together. They make them look really great, really action oriented. They started out with like Jason Todd's Robin, you know, breaking into the fairgrounds, and like you see like a security guard or cop strung up with like a really big, kind of like 1980s looking Jack Nicholson Joker grin
For
on his
real.
face. Yeah, and everything, and also you see like at one point in this trailer there's like a shadowy outline of like the Joker with like a crowbar in his hand, from the infamous comic book panel right there. So I mean, yeah, they do great trailers for their shows, but like you, sometimes, man, like I don't get as pulled in as much into these shows. They need a little bit better writing. on these shows, in my opinion. Like the cast, like the people they got to play these characters are fantastic. But just the writing's just a little weak there, So I'm hoping. I'm so glad this show got a third season. I'm hoping it at least gets a 5 to 6 season run, and I'm really hoping season three is what brings this show back. But speaking of coming back, this show is bringing back all the main cast, including Brenton Thwaites as Dick Grayson, Robin, Nightwing. I know, could you have a more complicated name there, sir? Uh, Anna Diop as Starfire, Tegan Croft as Raven, Ryan Potter as Gar Logan, or AKA Beast Boy, and Joshua Orpin as Subject 13 / Connor, who we all know to be Superboy. New to the show is the setting. In Season 3, circumstances draw our heroes to Gotham City, where they will reunite with old friends and face new threats. Now, pictures and leaks from the series show settings like Arkham Asylum and the Funhouse Ferris wheel, and as we've talked about, footage in the teaser gave fans a glimpse at the origin of the Red Hood. Now, when asked by a fan on Twitter one word to describe the transformation of Jason Todd, played by Curran Walters, into the Red Hood, show writer Pratik Shasrini replied, "Frightening. This is going to be a frightening transformation here." Now, followers of DC know that the origin of Red Hood has already been portrayed on film before with the 2020's DC showcase Batman Death in the Family, and also they did a previous Batman Under the Red Hood storytelling as well, with Jensen Ackles doing a superb job playing the Red Hood, and Neil Patrick Harris, I believe, played Nightwing in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Batman Under the Red Hood is definitely worth checking out on DC's animated library side of things. But Alex, do you think they're going to remain close to the source material here for this one?
Oh man, to go back with what you said, yeah, I do feel like DC does the animated side much better than Marvel has so far. Now, we haven't seen any of the new stuff that Marvel has to offer, and I know I sound like a complete Marvel fanboy when I preface it by that, but I will say that right now, DC is just blowing Marvel out of the water when it comes to the animated side of things. Now, to get back to your question, matter of fact, I don't think that they're gonna remain close to the source material, because it looked too much like it was some kind of a dream when you see the whole Jason Todd like scenario when he rolls up, and that that impossibly contorted face on that police officer. Like, come on, man. And then you see the footage of the Joker, what looks like the Joker just beating him senseless with the crowbar. I know that they said that. So I think Scarecrow is supposed to be one of the villains making an appearance this season. How do we know that that's not like some kind of fear induced, like just you know what I'm saying, just like a hallucination by the Scarecrow. I mean, that's what I get from it. But what did you take away from it?
I would like to see the Joker pop up here in Season 3. It looks like they're staying pretty close to the comic book origins of the Red Hood, but, kind of trading. Now, I haven't read the Red Hood comic in like a long while, so feel free to correct me here, but in the Under the Red Hood movie, they are in like Russia or Siberia, like some snow-covered country, and Jason Todd rushed in ahead of Batman, like got to like the scene of the crime where the Joker is ahead of Batman, and the Joker gets the drop on him and does start laying into him with a crowbar. So I mean, I feel like they're trading, like that out of country setting for the fun house or the Joker's main base of operation of the abandoned amusement park in Gotham City. I just feel like they are swapping the surroundings, but keeping the origin story pretty close to what you see in the comic books. I hadn't thought about that being like a fear-induced toxin from the Scarecrow. I hope that's not. I really hope that Jason Todd gets goes full full Red Hood.
Oh, absolutely, me too. But it's just with them missing a lot of the key players of the original, Death in the Family storyline. Mainly, like Black Mask is not in there, so it's like, how do you, if they seem to be swapping him with Scarecrow, then how do you adjust your storyline for that? I mean, do you? So you had touched on it a little bit earlier. Do you think the Joker will feature heavily in season 3?
I can't say. I hope he does, but since I haven't heard any casting rumors of who would be playing the Joker in season 3, I think he may play like a small part and then fade back into the shadows. Um, I know we're going to see Bruce Wayne in season 3, but the question is, do you think we'll see Batman in costume in season 3? There, Alex.
I don't. I don't think so, because all of the criticisms that I've heard of the show are that it kind of, has become like a Bat family show featuring the Teen Titans. So, and then if you just put in Batman, it's just that's all I'm gonna want to see. That might be that might be what makes me watch the show, is if they tell me Batman's in it. But I don't think that they'll do that, because how tight Warner and DC kind of have that control over Batman. I mean, he's barely in that Harley Quinn show, so, and she's one of their biggest sellers to this point. So I just don't see him, donning the cape and cowl. What do you think, Sam?
I don't think we're going to see him in the cape and cowl, but Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones, he got the stone disease, trying to guard Daenerys. Jorah Mormont is
Oh,
who
you're
he
talking
played.
about Sir Friendzone.
Yes, Sir Friendzone. Yes, Sir Jorah Mormont. He will be playing Bruce Wayne. It'll be fascinating to see his take on Bruce Wayne, because he's a really great actor. But yeah, you see his face briefly in this trailer. But no, I don't think we will see Batman suit up for this one. I just think, you're going to see Bruce Wayne in a more advisory capacity. And yeah, the season 3 trailer looks to be a return to form after what some critics would call a lackluster second season. And you're right, Alex. Rumors are that the Red Hood and Scarecrow will be the main villains for the first half of the season, while Blackfire will be the antagonist of the second half. But yeah, some fans out there have been, voicing their concern that season 3, the show will focus too much on Nightwing / Bat Family side of things, as this has been the case in previous seasons. Alex, do you worry about this? Will the other Titans get enough screen time?
With the rumors being that Blackfire is supposed to be the main antagonist of the second half of the of this season 3, I think that'll be a chance for them to at least put Starfire in the front running. I would love to see them involve Raven a lot more, because I think she's a really interesting character. Her origin has always kind of really fascinated me. But I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna have to do to get me. It's probably just me, and they're probably not even trying to get me to jump on board with this show, because I'm just dragging my feet so much on it. But I don't. I couldn't tell you, man. I really hope that this show does kind of get its accolades, and it seems to have done a good job of making the fans happy that do appreciate the show. And everybody that I talk to is always like, "Oh, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it." But it's just, I don't know, man. Like I said, maybe if I get fired, fingers crossed, right, guys? So, but I mean, what do you think, Sam? Are you, I know you said you've kind of fallen behind the wayside, but season 1, were there any kind of drawbacks or criticisms that you had that you hoped that they had taken care of in season 2 and maybe season 3?
Just getting the writing a little bit better. I mean, like, the costumes actually look pretty fun and cool, and the effects on the show look good. And like I said, they've cast the show very well. They need to get some better writers on there. Just I'm hoping, and not to say that I want to see any current writers get fired or anything, you know. But just the show needs. I would say like maybe like a little bit better showrunner, a little bit better kind of overall story arcs at times, and just a hair better writing. Like this is like on the cusp, like being like a really having the potential to be like a really great breakout superhero show. But hey, folks, you know, the first 3 episodes of the season will premiere Thursday, August 12th, with subsequent episodes launching weekly every Thursday through October 21st. So that's a good long season right there. You know,
That's what
from
it sounds like.
August to October. Uh, hopefully, Alex and I will find time to get caught up on this show. But you know, comment on our Facebook page, comment on our YouTube page. Tell us, is Titans worth our time? Should we be watching it? Email us at realmycomiclife@gmail.com. Again, that's realmycomiclife@gmail.com. Is there a better show than Titans, like superhero show, that we should be watching out there?
Oh, absolutely. Remember, I have a very small attention span, so I'm going to need a one sentence blurb to just hook me into the show.
All right. Well, jumping from DC to the what am I even going to call this? The Netflix Mattel universe. That's what I'm dubbing it right there. Man, Alex, we got a bit of nostalgia, a bit of our childhood. You know, kind of came back this week. Uh, and that came back in the form of Masters of the Universe. A return to the world of He-Man and returning of the Masters of the Universe was inevitable, exclaimed showrunner and Kevin, friend of the show, Smith, when he spoke briefly about his project in cooperation with Netflix's Masters of the Universe Revelation. Netflix released the first trailer of the upcoming reboot of the once iconic Mattel franchise. The action and explosion-filled trailer is full of quick cuts over Bonnie Tyler's holding out for a hero. Alex, did you ask for a He-Man reboot? Was this on your Christmas wish list? You know, did you write Santa and say, I need He-Man back in my life?
You know, all those times when we tried to get time to have Kevin Smith on the show, I was going to ask him about this show. I was going to be, where's my show? Where's my show, Kevin? And did I ask for this? No. Am I absolutely ecstatic and can't wait to watch this? Yes, because like you said, this and it was a misnomer. This was not a bit of my childhood. This was my childhood. Like, like I wanted to be He-Man so bad that my mother had to create a costume for me, and she stuffed it with cotton and stuff for like the muscles and everything. And I wore that thing. I promise you, I wore it for like 3 Halloweens straight. Like the arms just kept getting shorter on my arms as I kept growing, and by the end, it just started to look really sad. I'm sure I looked like some kind of a psychopath by the end of it, but it was, you know, it was such a big part of my childhood, and I enjoyed the show so much. And to finally get to see, you know, if you look at the kind of when Kevin Smith kind of goes over his reasons for getting on board with Netflix, because it does, you know, when you look at it, it's a very like different kind of mesh. You know, you would never think that this is not Kevin Smith's kind of show, but when he goes over his reasons for doing it, he really comes off as being a huge fan of the franchise, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for us. But Sam, did you ask for this?
No, I did not ask for this, but was I ever blown away by the trailer? Did it give me goosebumps? Oh my gosh, yes. And like you, I was a huge He-Man fan back in the day. I used to have the Power Sword, and I would run around in my backyard, you know, screaming, "I have the power," you know, and like hitting trees that I thought were, you know, Skeletor or, you know, Beastman, you know. I mean, I used to have epic battles out in the backyard with my Power Sword. So yeah, no, this is definitely a huge part of my childhood, and I was so excited to see this trailer. I just love all the colors that are going to be in this show. If the '80s had a color palette, go back and go back and watch this trailer, and like it is just saturated in like '80s colors to me. You know, like all the bright neon purples and pinks and like the bright kind of sunset blues. Oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm back. It's Saturday morning, you know. I'm eating my way too over sugared marshmallow cereal in front of the living room TV. You know, yeah, it definitely brought me back. But yeah, as we stated before, showrunner for Masters of the Universe Revelation is Kevin Smith of the View Askew production fame. Smith is something of a pop culture phenomenon himself, but jumped at the chance to work on the project. To quote the man himself, when I got a call about the meeting with Mattel and they said He-Man, and instantly my eyes lit up because I was like, all those toys that my parents wouldn't buy me, I can now play with in the form of this cartoon. And Kevin did not shy away from using his Hollywood muscle to pull as many talented voice actors and actresses as possible for a show that he holds dear to his own heart. We have Chris Wood as the infamous Prince Adam and He-Man, and another friend of the show, Mark Hamill as Skeletor. We
My
also have,
guy.
I know. Let me ask you this: Did he sound like the Joker to you in the trailer? Was it hard for you to separate those voices?
For me personally, no. I actually didn't even know that it was Mark Hamill until I read the cast list. So it did not sound like the Joker to me. It certainly
Okay.
didn't sound like Skeletor, but it wasn't the Joker. So
Yeah, it wasn't the old 80s, you know, like nasally curse you, He-Man, you know,
yeah, yeah.
like
Hashtag
old
not my
school.
Skeletor.
Yeah, hashtag not my Skeletor. But we have Sarah Michelle Gellar of Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame playing Tila, Lena Headley as Evil Lynn, Alicia Silverstone from Clueless and Batman and Robin as Queen Marlena, Kevin B.D.E. Conroy coming to the show as Merman. That is badass. Along with many others such as Henry Rollins, Jason Mewes, Justin Long, Tony Todd, Phil Lamar, and Liam Cunningham, and even more. Man, Kevin really called in all his favors here for this show. This will be a sequel to the show that ran from 1983 to 1985, known as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. The new show is Masters of the Universe Revelation and is set after the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, and also tells the tale. There you go, Alex, tripping me up with that alliteration. Tells the tale of Tila, a former captain of the guard of Castle Grayskull, who, after the destruction of Eternia, seeks out the missing sword of power to prevent the end of the universe. Alex, I feel like this is like a dumb question, but are you gonna watch this?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm gonna watch this. I so again, and I have to encourage all of you to watch the trailer and then watch Kevin Smith kind of talk about the show himself. It's just a little 6-minute video. It goes over really quick, but he'll tell you that the point of view that this show goes. I actually thought it was a reboot at first, but I guess it's a straight up sequel to the '80s television series. But they're saying they're going to tell it from the point of view of Tila, who is of course Prince Adam's like bodyguard, mentor, number one person, and apparently she never knew that he was He-Man because it was also it was a lot of the um, what is it like the masked identity kind of thing between Prince Adam and He-Man, and only like a handful of people knew, and Tila, being one of his closest friends, never knew. And Kevin Smith talks about how that affects her, and how she deals with learning that Prince Adam didn't trust her enough to be like, she has to find that out. He doesn't tell her. It's like she finds out for herself. So that's going to definitely be really interesting to see. The animation looks absolutely beautiful and spot on. You know, He-Man. Everybody in the He-Man universe is jacked. You know, so
Yeah.
so that was part of. I guess that was part of the appeal. You know, growing up being a young testosterone filled kind of like elementary schooler, and being thinking of yourself as being invincible, and you see this guy on TV who actually is invincible, and even Skeletor was jacked, which didn't make any sense to me. But hey, it is what it is. But to answer your question, yes, I 100% will watch this. Sam, I pose the same question to you. Are you going to be checking this show out?
Oh, yeah, day one, July 23rd, as soon as it drops, as soon as I can watch episode one, I am going to be there. Yes, definitely. So excited for this. Just, man, like I said, the trailer just flung me back to like my childhood. Uh, I'm totally psyched about it. Love the voice cast. Yeah, the animation, as you said, it's just absolutely spot on and looks beautiful and amazing. Just go watch the trailer and you'll see it. And we have the trailer posted to the My Comic Live Facebook page. So yes, I'm two thumbs up. I'm 100% in on this. Alex, would this show have benefited more for trying to appeal to a newer generation rather than catering to older fans of the property?
Oh man, that's a good question, and I think that the answer is yes, but but at the same time, I think they are trying to get a new fan base with the. I mean, if you watch that trailer, that thing is almost seizure inducing, man. It's got like it's got like less than full second cuts just back and forth and back and forth, and I half expected He-Man to start flossing and like playing Fortnite or something crazy like that. That was just how quick it was. I was like, man, this must be my old man brain like catching up to me because I was like, yeah, I don't know, but I think they a lot like and again I have to reference Kevin's interview. It's just like when he talked about how all they had to do was just mention the name He-Man and he instantly was taken back to when he was a child. And a lot of us watching that, it happened the same way. So I think they got us, as far as like it didn't take a whole lot to get me interested into this show, and I think they know that, and I think Kevin Smith knows that. And as long as they, among all the other American adult animated superhero, shows that are out there, I think if they just stay in their lane and they stick with the He-Man goodness, that they don't go they don't let Kevin write any of it, because then we'll end up with like Tila being like, I'm not supposed to be at work today, or some dumb shit like that. But I think that they have something really special here, because I'll definitely be watching it with my son, and I hope to to share a part of my childhood with him, and I think that's
Oh,
ultimately what Kevin wants to do. But what about you, my friend? Do you think that they should stick with the us old guys cracking open a beer and watching it, or you think they should go back to the young kids with their chug jugs?
no, there was a 2002 reboot of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe on Cartoon Network, and it only ran for about 2 seasons. And it was one of those shows. They made it like modern day animation, and it looked really good. But I mean, like I said, it only ran for 2 seasons, and I always felt like it was more of a show to sell the toys than like a
Mm.
show, for like us kids who grew up watching it. So no, I think Kevin's on the right track here with like aiming at our generation, because you already have a built-in core audience that grew up with this show, and like He-Man's never quite fully faded from the pop culture forefront. Like there are tons of YouTube videos out there reviewing the horribly awesome, Masters of the Universe live action movie that bankrupted. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the studio, but yeah, bankrupted one of the studios in like the 1980s, and like the reruns have been on, and they've re-released this show on DVD and Blu-ray. So I mean, it's always been around, and like I said, it's our generation who has more fond memories of growing up with this show. So no, I think yeah, you like reach out to like our core audience of people, and then like you just said, like you're gonna share this show with your son, and so this may get other people, sharing it with their kids, and like their kids are gonna go back and watch the 1980s cartoon that we grew up with. But no, yeah, first appeal to us, and then appeal to the newer generation second. That's my thought on it.
Definitely, man, definitely.
Well, folks, part one of Masters of the Universe Revelation releases on Netflix streaming service July 23rd. So tune in and let us know what you think. Okay, folks, jumping from the Netflix Mattel side of things, we are jumping on over to the Marvel Disney Plus universe. That's right, it's Loki time. Episode 2 of Loki premiered June 16th, 2021, and it was simply titled The Variant. All right, folks, I'm going to give you the oh so awesome My Comic Life spoiler warning countdown. Pause the podcast here, go steal your aunt's log-on, watch the episode, come back, start the podcast again right here. So we're spoilers in 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Loki joins a TVA mission to the site of an attack by the variant in 1985 Oshkosh, Wisconsin, but derails it by stalling and attempting to bargain his way into a meeting with the timekeepers who created the TVA and the sacred timeline. Mobius convinces Renslayer to give Loki another chance. After researching TVA files, Loki theorizes that the variant is hiding in near-apocalyptic events throughout time where their actions do not affect the timeline. Loki and Mobius confirm this possibility by visiting Pompeii in 79 AD before deducing that the variant is hiding at the superstore Roxcart during the hurricane in 2050 in Alabama. Loki, Mobius, and TVA agents are ambushed there by the variant who possesses the body of several locals and TVA agent Hunter B-15. The variant reveals herself to be a female version of Loki and rejects his offer to overthrow the Timekeepers together. She sends the stolen activated reset charges to various points along the sacred timeline, creating numerous branch timelines and throwing the TVA into disarray. She teleports away and Loki follows her. Alex, what did you think of this week's episode?
I thought it was pretty good, man. The show it's moving really quick. So I liked I kind of liked Loki being given the opportunity to kind of solve a mystery, and I liked the way that he worked. It was really cool to see always the back and forth between Loki and Mobius is great to watch. Uh, I didn't get anything extra into the timekeepers, which was a little, that's really what I'm here for. I want to see this, I'm interested to see this new cosmic side of Marvel, but I'm hoping with time that happens. And as always, they ended the episode with a banger of a cliffhanger. So I'm really interested to see where this goes from here. What did you think of this week's episode?
I thought it was really just a great episode. They got to get rid of all the here we're setting up this whole universe style episode. Like they shed all of that. And this was just a really great, fun episode. You get some great back and forth between Mobius and Loki. Of course, you get to see, I believe it's the Marriott in downtown Atlanta, Georgia, where Dragon Con is held. Like when they're riding down the elevator, that is that hotel, and that was kind of fun to see. And be like, oh hey,
really?
Yeah. That's the hotel where Dragon Con is held every year. It was great to see more of the TVA.
Maybe you'll see Sam Maybe you'll see Sam in a variant jacket.
Yeah, I was about to say Loki's variant costume is such an easy put together cosplay. Um, yeah, just seeing more of the TVA in general. Getting to see the judge's office there, getting to see Loki interact with that holographic orange, time clock. Just all of that. Seeing them jump around, from time to time to time, testing out Loki's theory uh, in Pompeii, and this is just it's such a great scene for both Mobius and Loki because Mobius like wants to play, like all quiet and be like, okay, like we'll just do some bird calls here, and just see what happens. And instead, Loki strolls up to a cart full of goats, kicks open the cart, scatters the goats, and starts speaking perfect Latin. So kudos to Tom Hiddleston for speaking Latin here. But in perfect Latin, starts telling the people of Pompeii that he wishes them a very horrible and doomed day. That was that
It was
one was
such a Loki moment, man.
yes, it was. It was. No, so I mean, like I said, this episode. I'm glad the episode one was building the universe, but man, I'm glad all the exposition is behind us now, and the show's just going. And yeah, like I said, this was just a really fun and really great episode. But yeah, as I was saying, on-screen chemistry here. We have Loki and Mobius, Wanda and Vision, Sam and Bucky. Alex, who has the best on-screen chemistry?
Oh man, if feel like if Sam and Bucky didn't have the history that they had, because they have like what a couple movies and half a dozen episodes under their belt right now, and it never got tired. They're back and forth. I definitely think they have the best on-screen chemistry. What is it, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, and that even extends to off camera. And when you see them in interviews and stuff like that, they really, you can see that these guys, they like almost like brothers. How close they are to each other. But I really dig this relationship with Loki and Mobius, and I feel like you really got to see that kind of strengthen, at least in the first part and midway through this episode. Not at the very end there, it all goes to shit. But when you got to see them kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and work together, that was something that was really special. And I felt like they were. It was almost like how everybody feels that Tom Hiddleston is meant for the role of Loki. I really feel that Owen. I forgot his last name.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Yes, thank you. Was meant for this role of Mobius, and how they didn't get him in the MCU before now is it's blowing my mind. He should have at least been like a Stark villain or something. Like he definitely deserved to be in the MCU. Now Wanda and Vision. Okay.
Oh, cracking one open already.
It just got. While they do have a lot of chemistry, and Vision has a lot of bangers of this kind of insight, and he has a lot of great lines in the universe. And Wanda, of course, is amazing. And I absolutely believe that come award season, if she's not at least given a nod, then it's a complete travesty. But it was just like I said. That's just not what I'm looking for. Not personally, not what I'm looking for. I know that a lot of people did like the show, and it's not that I disagree with them. It's just like I said, it just wasn't for me. But if I had to rank them, I'd say Sam and Bucky 1, Loki and Mobius 2, and then Wanda and Vision 3. But Loki and Mobius are very close too. But Sam, who do you think has the best on-screen chemistry out of those three couples?
Oh man, that is such a tough pick. Like you, I mean, you summed it up best. We got a history of Sam and Bucky through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, like, when they landed on our TV, there was already such great chemistry there. So, I got to go with Sam and Bucky 1. Oh man, but you're right. I mean, Owen Wilson is just owning his role as Mobius and having so much fun with it, and it is just a blast to watch him, play off Tom Hiddleston, and like he's the straight man, and Tom Hiddleston, is the comedic relief. Man, I this is such a cop out answer, but Loki and Mobius and WandaVision are just like tied for like second place. Because I mean, like Loki and Mobius, you get like the straight man and the comedic relief, and with Wanda and Vision, you get the tragic star-crossed lovers, and they all do it so well. So I mean, I just couldn't pick between like those four. So Sam and Bucky number one, and Loki, Mobius, WandaVision. I mean, just deadlocked at second place for me. But hey, guys, let us know who you think the best, on who has the best on-screen chemistry by commenting on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or emailing us at realmycomiclife@gmail.com. Alex, with only 6 episodes making up the series, do you think the series is moving too fast, too slow, or just about right?
I think it with 6 episodes being greenlit, it has to it has no choice but to move fast, and I'm kind of glad that it is because the episodes are full of nothing, but we haven't had any kind of. I guess we did have a little bit of exposition in the very first episode when they had the whole Dino DNA and stuff like that. That was But even that went moved relatively quickly, and you were left as confused as Loki was after at the end of that little short video that he watched, and so I do like that the series is moving fast, man. I just that's kind of what I need. Like I said, I and I respect everybody's opinion, but WandaVision just moved a little bit too slow for me. I think these 6 episode kind of seasons are really kind of the ballpark that Marvel needs to shoot for, because when you draw it out a little bit too much, like I begin to lose interest, and maybe it's just my fault, and you take the bad with the shorter series, but to me it just works out even better when they have to condense the story into these little 40 to 50-minute episodes. But what do you think, Sam? Are we going too fast, too slow? What do you think?
No, I mean, going just about right for me. It's starting to pick up into a little bit of what I would call a breakneck or frenetic pace. But I think this show needs that. I think you got a lot of ground to cover in 6 episodes. Um, and no, so for me, like a faster pace is a okay. I don't feel like I'm being shorted anywhere. The only like I guess like little area where I feel like I'm being shorted is like the TVA looks like such a fascinating like place, like planet or pocket dimension, and we're only getting like little glimpses of it. Like I would love to walk around in that universe, and just talk to more people. Um, that's about the
That's a
only
really
drawback,
good
but
point.
yeah, because it's like in episode one when Mobius, and him are like, like leaning out, and you get to see like all of like the whole like TVA like city and everything. It looks fantastic, and like I just wanted to go running from building to building to building, just seeing what all the TVA had and everything. But no, great pacing, great writing. You can tell, the actors are having a lot of fun with this, and that makes the show feel more real for me. So no, it's perfect where it is right now. Uh, Alex, what are your predictions for episode three?
Ooh, okay. I have I did hear about the female version of Loki is not actually Loki, that it is in fact the Enchantress of, one of Thor's main villains. I do subscribe to that theory. I 100% hope that that's the case. Not to say that Loki can't be a woman or anything like that, but there are a whole lot of subtle hints that you get, like when when Loki calls the female Loki Loki, and she's like, "Don't call me that," or "I hate being called that," or something along those lines. And it's just a lot of the like powers that she exhibits and stuff have more to do with the Enchantress. They're more in line with the Enchantress's power set rather than Loki's power set. Not to say that he can't do it, but I just never have seen him do something like that without the aid of an Infinity Stone. So that is the first theory that I have, is that it is the Enchantress that is in fact the main villain and not a female version of Loki. But the second kind of theory I had is that this one is pretty wild now, but that the TVA is actually inside of the quantum verse that of Ant-Man and the Wasp fame. Now I can tell you why is because at the very first episode, when Loki asks Mobius, "How long have you been here?" and Mobius says, "Well, it's hard to tell because time moves a little bit different here at the TVA," and that is the same description that Hank Pym gives for the Quantumverse, and that Scott Lang gave for the Quantumverse, was that time moved a little bit different inside the quantum dimension. So that's what makes me think that it must be, at least the TVA is based inside of the quantum dimension, because especially with the references to Kang the Conqueror and the rumors and everything like that, and with the title of the next Ant-Man and Wasp being Quantumania, and talking about the multiverse and time travel and everything, it just fits that they would be kind of headquartered in that little pocket, like you said, a pocket dimension, in order to be able to kind of move around the timeline at will, seemingly. That's just personally for me. I don't know if we'll get all of that in season or in episode 3. I wouldn't be surprised with how, like you said, how fast the show is moving. But do you have any predictions for the next episode or two?
Well, first of all, I'm blown away by your quantum realm theory, and I'm buying it, man. Like, that is, you get the My Comic Life Gold Star of the Week there, man. That is some fucking next level genius, brilliant. I hadn't even gone that far, but yes, they could easily be in the quantum realm. And picking up on the fact that he said time moves a little differently around here, man, Alex, kudos, sir. Like, that just, like, Bill and Ted, like, whoa, like, blew my mind there when you said that. So wow, yeah, wow, man. I hope that's true, man. I really do.
And like I said, that's not really my theory. That's just that's a reigning theory that's been going around on the message board and the internet. But please continue. I'm sorry.
So my prediction for the next episode is that there's going to be a little sleight of hand. I think Loki is going to kidnap this variant Loki. Disagree with you there. I really hope it's an alternate universe Loki seeking revenge. But if not, I will not be like, oh man, by any means. If it is the Enchantress, that's cool too. Keep bringing in those obscure Marvel characters who have never had screen time. But I think Loki's going to get her in the next episode, bring her back to the TVA. There's going to be some confusion where Loki almost gets zapped because they think that he portrayed not portrayed, but betrayed the TVA. But Mobius is going to step in and save them at the last minute. And while everybody's all busy, looking at the variant Loki, the now trusted Loki who brought in the variant Loki is going to be sneaking around trying to figure out, where the Time Lords are, and using the variant Loki as a distraction to get to the Time Lords and get to the source of their power. That is my prediction for the next episode.
I could see it. I could see it happening, definitely.
But Alex, as always, what would you rate this week's episode?
Oh man, what did we rate last week's episode? I can't really remember. Wasn't it like a?
It was a C. Like yeah, like 7.75.
I think I would rate this one a little bit higher. I would put this one probably around 7.98. Probably a solid 8 because of the camaraderie and the interaction between Loki and Mobius was really cool. The interaction between Loki and the variant was really cool, and like all the small little. It's a very small cast, but everybody is definitely pulling their weight. Everybody's doing an amazing job, and like you, I couldn't have put it better. You said Owen Wilson is just that man is just stealing every scene that he's in. Like man, I hope that he's not a one-shot character, and we actually get to see him in more Marvel properties. So yeah, it's got to be a strong 8 for me. What would you rate this week's episode, Sam?
Oh, definitely strong 8 for me. Just a fun episode all around. Love seeing Pompeii. Love seeing the Alabama storm in 2050. Loved, like I said, getting to walk around the TVA a little bit more. Yeah, Owen Wilson just stealing the show as Mobius. Just awesome, awesome, awesome. Show definitely gets a strong, solid 8. Can't wait for next week's episode. Well, all right, folks, this wraps up another great episode of My Comic Life. As always, we appreciate you tuning in and spreading the word. You can email us your show topics, if you want to hear us do more, like debates about, who has the better rogues gallery, Spider-Man or Batman, or just anything like that. Or, hey, guys, talk about this video game, review it. Or, hey, why aren't you talking about this comic book or this TV show? Email us your thoughts and ideas on the show at realmycomiclife@gmail.com. Again, the email address is realmycomiclife@gmail.com. And click that like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We currently have 13 followers. We're still looking for that 14th, 15th, even 16th follower, and that could be you. So look for that great My Comic Life logo there on YouTube and just click that subscribe button, and you can get our podcast there every week. And continue to like and subscribe to our Facebook page. Again, all the likes, all the subscribes, all the comments just help grow the show, and we sincerely appreciate it. And that brings me to my next point, our My Comic Life Fan of the Week. Our My Comic Life Fan of the Week is Lyle Bridger from Hohokus, New Jersey. A place so nice they named it twice. Lyle Bridger, thank you for emailing us your thoughts on the show and for liking our Facebook page. Sir, we salute you.
Salute to you, Lyle. Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Well, folks, that wraps up this episode. So as always, ditch the herd, be a nerd. Stay strong out there, my friends.